Oh boy. Oh Jesus. Oh. Oh my god. Hi, Jamal. Hello, hello. Oh my god, this puzzle is too much. I just can't find it. It's a night. Oh. There's a 94. King G2. We check on F3. It's 94 in my opinion. Yeah, so the king goes to G2. I mean, he does have other options, you know, like it's so complicated. All right, but let's try to make it work. It's just that I don't see anything. Like 94 check. Imagine he goes to G2. He has other options. He can go here, he can go here, and here. But let's just imagine that he goes to G2 for the sake of it. So knight here, king G2, and then what? Like we can give a check on F3. Yeah, whatever, man. King H2, we take. King H3, check. Here. And maybe check. Here, check again. And I think that's mate. Okay, so we found one mate if he plays a very stupid line with king h2. And now let's try to be more sensible about the moves, right? So, what did we play? 94. King g2, check on f3. What if he goes back to f1? If he goes back to f1, we have mate on h1. Okay, that's very promising. So he can't play that. He had to go here. You had to go king g1. Yeah, knight f4, king takes queen d4. But knight f4, king takes queen d4. Yeah, but he doesn't have to take. Oh yes. Well, you don't have time for queen d4, or do you? Oh, wait a second, you might be right. So here, check, right? So takes. And what if he goes? Oh, you got it. You got it. You got it. Yeah, I think it's knight f4. Knight f4 takes queen d4. And then if he goes to f3, mate on e4. And if he goes down, we just have g6 and we win. Oh, it's knight f4. Because he prevents g2. If he goes to d3, we just have check on d4. We force him to take. And then check. And we win with g6. Oh, yes! You got it! Who said that? Who said it? Yeah. It's half bro. I can't read your name, bro. But yeah, you got it. It is knight f4. So I was looking at some other crazy lines, but I think that he will survive with king g1 if I play knight e4. So yeah, I think it's knight f4 now. I really don't see anything from them for them. So I'm just gonna play it. Unless I'm missing something, but I don't think I am, right? Let's just double check, because I don't want to get it wrong. So knight f4, king takes his fours. or king e3. If king e3, queen d3 check, and then the knight, king takes the knight, and then queen e4 check. It's just made queen e4. Yeah, which is, it's completely winning. Okay. So now, just play queen d4. And mate. Nice. Very good. Very good. Thank you for your help. There we go. Okay. Now we have to move on to puzzle 62. So far, so good. They play g4. So what do we do now? Oh, this one looks a bit crazy. I can take on b2. Queen check, right? Yeah, let's just calculate though, because it's not an easy puzzle probably. So we take on b2. He's gonna block with the bishop. And then after he blocks with the bishop, what do we do? I could take on f5. So I take on f5, but well, I don't feel like I'm gaining much. After I take, sorry, if I take on f4, not really f5, f4. So check, bishop c2, and then knight f4. That's what I meant here, bishop c2. And then we take on f4, pawn takes, and then what do we do? I really don't know. Like, that sequence is really meh. It's really, really meh. What else do we have? It should start with queen takes b2 because it's like a forcing move. He has to play bishop c2. And then we're so far, I think we're good. So far, so good there. But then, like, finding the follow-up, it's really hard. Like I feel like my pieces can't really access the attack unless I sack. But even if I sack, after pawn takes, like, yeah, we have an open file, but how do we exploit that? I have no idea. How do we exploit the open file if we sack on f4? Oh, we just c2. Oh boy. Too sleepy for this. Maybe we take on d3? On e3, sorry. So we take on b2, bishop c2, and then we take on e3 check, like here. So then we can take on f4 with a knight. Okay. That might be a better idea. Knight f4 and queen d4. Oh. So you say knight f4, pawn takes, and then queen d4. But then I think it's gonna play rook d1. He plays rook d1. I could take on f4 with the rook, but then he takes my rook. So I had to trade first, and then rook takes, and then I take on f4. But well, the idea would be to play something like rook f2, I guess. And he can bring the other rook. I mean, the other rook is going to be here. So if I play rook f2, for example, he can either block with the knight or the bishop. So I don't know. I see what you're saying though. Like we take here and then we take here. But is that enough? Taking with the queen here is not really a forcing move. So it's hard to think that that's correct. Queen b2 is a bit more promising for sure, right? Because we take here, bishop c2, but then how do we continue? So I was looking at taking on e3. But after queen takes, we have knight takes f4. Preventing the check, I guess. But we sack an exchange for it, right? We sack the rook. So queen takes, and then knight takes f4. And I'm not even sure if that's winning. That is just getting the knight into the action. But maybe she's not enough. Maybe she's not enough. The first one's gotta be queen b2. Yeah, but yeah, I agree. It should be queen b2, but after bishop c2, what do we do? Like, if we don't have an answer for bishop c2, it's hard to play queen b2. Pawn c4? You mean pawn c5? I really don't understand this move. I'm just gonna take here with check. So no, I don't think it's helping much. Check, and then he takes the knight. So yeah. Knight b6, prepare an attack. So we don't move the knight, we play knight b6. You go here then. And then he takes. So we're sacking the knight, so we can play this check. Oh, so we play knight b6 first, he takes the pony, and then maybe we go here. Oh no, in that sense, then no. We have to take here first. Check. Bishop c2, and then knight b6. Okay, because we're threatening check on c4, and then we can infiltrate with the rook if he takes the knight. Yeah, knight b6 could be an idea. So we take on b2, bishop c2, and then knight b6. And then he takes the knight. Maybe, I don't know. If he takes the knight, we have knight c4. And knight c4 is really good, because we might get the knight back. With knight c4, he has to go down here, so he stays defending the knight. But then we have rook e3, and then we win the queen. So if we're up a queen, after takes, and then we play rook e4, we're having a lot of fun in that position. So yeah, I like the knight b6 maneuver. I think it might be it. Yeah, queen takes, then knight b6. Should we try that? Now, if there is one thing that we should consider also is that, well, the knight is trapped. The knight on h5 is simply trapped. We can't really save him unless we sack material. But there is a good news. Like, I was looking at, maybe there's a way to stop this maneuver, and I was looking at queen here or queen here. But as soon as the queen moves away, the knight it's alive, and we can play knight g3. So the queen can't really control the c4 square without letting the knight get away. So based on all of that, queen b2 should be correct. And now knight b6. Yeah, I'm playing it because this knight is also a problem in white's position. Okay, so he goes there. He doesn't even take the knight. Because I think he can't. He can't really do it. Like, if he takes the knight, knight c4 is too strong. Especially after this check. Oh, if you go up, I'm just gonna take this one. And then you take. But the attack is gonna be too strong if I play rook e3. So, yeah. So now the question is, now that rook b1 was played instead, should I go knight c4? Anyways? Or should we find another move? Some other move, but... Well, the only move that makes sense is queen a3. Which is not something that I really want to play. So we need to find something else. I was looking at knight c4. The king goes here, obviously, so he doesn't lose the knight. And then after knight c4, how do we do this? I could play the check. Queen takes, knight takes, rook takes. And then how do we win that? Okay, but it has to be knight c4. What do you think? Can you go rook e3 first? Oh, rook e3 right now. But then... So he takes the rook. Sorry, if I play rook e3, he's gonna take my queen. And then I give a check on c4. Oh, maybe rook e3 right now is not a bad idea. Rook e3, if queen takes, I have the check and I'm forking. So the king has to move away. I don't know. I mean, we're sacrificing a rook, and we still have problems with this knight. And I don't think this leads to checkmate. Because I think you can simply take. And then if I give this check, and if I take the queen, you can still take my queen. And then the attack, it's gonna be non-existent because we're lacking material. So I think that white is gonna be fine. And we still have the knight problem, right? So the knight is hanging still. So yeah, it's interesting, but I don't think it works. Queen, rook takes e3. Do it with the knight. Yeah, I think it's knight c4, but I don't really see the follow-up. I guess his rook takes e3 is the only move that makes sense after king d3. I mean, it's the only move that continues the attack going. I mean, that keeps the attack going. But, it's... It's hard to see what to do after that. Check with knight? It has to be correct. Yeah, I mean, what else can we do, right? If we keep it like that, I mean, it is a forcing move. It forces king d3. The question is what to do after king d3 is played. Rook takes e3 seems tempting, but I don't know if it is correct. Because my knight is still hanging. So rook takes e3, queen takes. I take the rook on b1, for example, I could take. Then after bishop takes, probably rook takes. Maybe knight g3. I don't know. Knight c4, king d3, rook takes e3, queen takes e3, knight takes e3. It's very confusing when you talk about chess notations, and this is something that you should know if you don't want to be considered an amateur. You had to use the letter N when you talk about the knight, okay? Because the letter K is for the king, you know. So the king goes with the letter K, and the knight goes with the letter N, okay? So that will facilitate the coordinates that you were mentioning. Queen takes rook after rook takes e3. Yeah, I was looking at that. I was looking at maybe we should sack the queen. The thing is that the knight's still a problem. I think we're down a knight in that line anyways. Are we? Maybe we're not. I guess I had to calculate it. So knight c4, queen d3. What I could do is to play maybe this check. And after king takes rook e3 and takes. And then I take. And then he takes. That's the problem though. He's gonna take the knight. So I don't know. Is rook f4 hinge? On hinge? You mean this move? It's just that we're sacking material, but we're already in trouble with some material, so... No, I think it's knight e4, but... The problem is that I don't know what to do after that. Yes, of course we have rook e3. So we take on e3, queen takes, knight takes, he takes. And then I take. I sort of saved the knight there. I saved the knight and I go on a pawn. But then he's gonna take here. But I'm down a rook. So I had to sack the queen. Okay, so we have to start with knight c4. Okay, so knight c4. Now this is the hard part, because I just don't see it.
The user.
I just don't see it very clearly. Thank you, the user, for the follow. Man, make the move. My phone died. My phone is dying. Yeah, we made the move, but we're still not done. We need to figure it out still. Now you said pawn f4. I play pawn f4 now. Sorry, knight f4. Knight f4. But after pawn takes. What were you trying to do? Rook d3. Unplayable. The king is on d3. You could shave the queen. I could shave the queen. Oh, you mean like just removing the queen from where it is? And if he takes the knight... Oh, I like that idea. It's very straightforward. Like, just, how about playing queen a3 now? Yes, right, because we're threatening this. So he still doesn't have time to play pawn takes. I mean, I guess he could. It's gonna be a knight, and a rook. No, not so simple, because the knight on c3 is still hanging. So he has to go rook b3 if I go queen a3. And if he plays rook b3... he plays rook b3, I could go queen a6. And we still have some discover attacks there that prevent white from taking the knight. Because if they do take the knight, I have knight e5, winning the queen with a discover check, which is double check, by the way. So queen a3 seems interesting. It keeps the tension. It's asking questions to white. I guess that a problem could be that they could play something like rook e1. If they play rook e1...
Chantilly.
Defending e3. Thank you for the follow, Chantilly. If they play rook e1 defending a3, I still have queen a6, which seems to be lethal. I don't think the king can escape that. The discover attack is going to come. Right? Rook e3, take the pawn. You think that's winning? I'm not entirely sure that it's winning. Rook f4, sacrifice the rook. Yeah, but you're just thinking about sacrificing material. But you need to tell me why. Like, what's the idea of playing rook takes f4? I don't get it. Sack the queen. You see, you just want to sack your pieces because... You just want to sack my pieces because they are not yours. It's not your pieces, right? So you can just sack them. Just do rook e3. Rook e3, queen takes, knight takes, he takes my queen. And then I take on g4. And I'll be down a rook. So I could play it, but I had to improve the variation. I had to take the rook first. I take the rook first. And then they play, I don't know, they can play bishop takes. Or knight takes, or rook takes. And then I play rook takes e3. No, I don't like it. I really don't like it. Because then he's gonna take, I think. Not convinced. I don't think it's rook e3. Queen takes c3, then rook e3. So you say queen takes c3, then rook e3. No, in the end of that line, you're also losing. Because, yes, you're telling me that I should take, right? That I take here. So king takes, and then rook takes e3. Queen takes, knight takes, and then he takes this knight. And if you count the material, it's going to be a bishop, a rook, and a rook versus a rook and a knight that is hanging. Right? So yeah, you're down a rook. Or an exchange at least. Am I tripping? No, I'm not. Jinx. You're down an exchange in that variation. You get bishop. The bishop is defended by the king. In what variation will you get the bishop? a3, please, queen. Yeah, I think it's queen a3. Keeping the tension. Threaten this. And if he plays rook e1, which seems to be defending. Yeah, the other thing that it does is that it prevents knight here. Because it's pinned. But what could happen, though, is that as the rook b3, we go down. And then he plays this, defending this. But we still have a discover attack. I think it's queen a3. Queen a3 is like the most tempting move to play. Tower e3. Nah. I don't like that move. I think it's queen a3. It's queen a3 with ideas of queen a6. I really like that maneuver. Because this doesn't make much sense. And if I play queen a3, I force them to play rook b3. And then I go queen a6. Which is really hard to stop. Really hard to stop. And the discover attack might win the game. Not necessarily, but it's really strong also. Yeah, I'm gonna play queen a3. It also pins the knight. Yeah, momentarily, yes, but it does. Rook e3. Play, god damn! Okay, we're gonna take a minute for Erfan. I'm gonna get a glass of water. So Erfan suffers the consequences of rushing the puzzle. Alright, I'm ready to play queen a3. I'm ready to play queen a3. Ken, thank you for the follow. I'm gonna play it. But let's just wait for Erfan a little bit. I'm gonna wait for Erfan. Kevin, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Knight takes f4. Chill, what are you talking about? Knight takes f4. Rook to e3. Rook to e3.
TikTok divas.
There's a bunch of people telling terrible moves. Knight f4. Hola, Ronaldo. Alright, I'm playing it. Nice. Very good. That was very, very good.
Can St. Laurent.
And that's the end of the puzzle also, which is good as well. It wasn't anything.
Tony Mellon.
Tony, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Thank you. And Can't Saint, I think. Thank you for the follow as well. Appreciate it. Look at the amount of people who were saying Rookie 3, Rookie 3, Rookie 3. Damn, bro. You're not very good at chess, are you?
Has it
Okay.
Cole?